Hello everyone, I'm Forrest McFreelava, and this is a rather belated Speedplay Stellaris number 11 as France. We left off having finished a war against the Hindari realms, or Haidari realms. At any rate, it doesn't matter all that much. We go ahead and rival a couple people, and go ahead and just start closing our borders basically to everyone. We may as well not have our borders open to them if their borders are going to be closed to us. Besides all that, we do have a rather powerful navy at the moment. I was hoping we would do a little bit more colonization. There are some areas we can colonize, and hopefully we will be able to get at that fairly successfully. It really does, well, it just depends on what ends up happening. We also can go ahead and just start sending our various military ships out to scout out all of these areas and hopefully find colonies or colonizable areas. Hopefully not finding colonies. We found enough colonized places already. At any rate, though, hopefully we'll find a decent number of colonizable worlds. I do believe we have some colony ships ready to go, and that was more or less the goal. We were going to find worlds that could be colonized and go ahead and colonize them. That being said, though, we are also going to upgrade our spaceports and actually be able to get more high-tier ships in the near future. We have a ton of minerals just kind of doing nothing other than just waiting in our treasury. And we have a slight energy deficit, but really what else is new? There are also 14 independent nations in the galaxy, not including ourselves or the fallen empires. Interestingly enough, you don't need to conquer them to get a conquest victory, or at least I don't believe so. You didn't have to when the game first came out. We are also going to try to fully destroy this orange country. I forget entirely its name. It is the Aztani Commonwealth. Alright, so we're going to just destroy them. We have a bunch of systems, half under our control and half under their control. Our navy is split into two equally sized groups and a third smaller group. And in this battle we're doing very well. We managed to more or less defeat their forces. One ship escaped, although hopefully it wasn't anything important or significant. And yeah, once we manage that, we're also starting to build new ships, fancy cruisers I believe they are, which will hopefully be significantly more powerful than the ships we've already got. You may have noticed that I haven't been messing around with the ship designer. Quite frankly, I don't particularly want to mess around with that too much. I actually don't even know how it functions, to be completely honest. I know that's something I really should learn, especially if I was going to do competitive multiplayer play. However, if we're fighting the AIs, we're already doing decently well enough in our wars without any unfair advantages that designing our fleets would create. However, that's really just an excuse not to learn it, quite frankly. And who knows, perhaps we'll get into a situation where the rest of the galaxy will coalesce against us and we'll be more or less forced to take methods like that to actually defend ourselves. That's all speculation, though. What's important right now is we are building even more ships. We go ahead and get these new ships ready to go. They have a power of 379 each, which is great. We have a fleet of 20 that has power of 1,000, now of 18 that's power of 900. So yeah, individual ships each being multiple hundreds of fleet power is a tremendous boon. We'll be able to produce our fleets much more rapidly. You'll notice we really did burn through our materials and also through our energy surplus, which didn't really exist to begin with and is now definitely a deficit. At any rate, though, we've more or less won the war already. We're just bombarding all of the remaining worlds to be occupied. They do have an ally on the opposite side of the universe, which is slightly annoying. We are also going to try to do another first contact invasion. Hopefully we'll succeed with that. And we also research photon torpedoes. Hopefully we will be able to get that in the decently near future. There's a magnetic miracle, which is interesting and appears to be making technology research much better on that world. I imagine that's going to lead to some horrifying development later on. However, for now it's basically great and we're just going to accept that without really worrying too hard. We go ahead and embark our armies. There's, I believe, one world left or two worlds left that need to be conquered, and we've been orbitally bombarding them for the recent past, so it should be more or less easy and straightforward for us to do. We build more cruisers. This time we're probably going to get a couple ready before we actually group them all together, but now we have 3 fleets of roughly similar strength to the 2 fleets we had at the beginning of the episode. And we're building several new ships. We've also gone ahead and I believe turned off subsidies or social programs in order to get our energy back up to a decent level. That is a little worrying for our long term, because that was a little bit of a buffer that we had from running out of energy. So yeah, that is a little bit concerning, although not terribly so. At any rate though, our fleet is getting incredibly powerful by the month as new ships come to the fore. We don't actually have a way to get to the other enemy in this war. They are on the opposite side of the galaxy. They are the, I believe it's Cogniti Fedare? Cogniti Fedari? It's basically, it's lazy Latin for Cognitive Federation, just because the idea, it's a race that I made, interestingly enough, and the idea behind them was just to tech up. However, as you've probably seen from my playstyle, that isn't exactly conducive to how I play the game. Hence, they are the AI, and we are an empire. At any rate, though, we have discovered this small alien species in their little world, and we are going to try to do a first contact invasion of them. We have a navy, and we have a landing force. Hopefully we'll be able to land our armies and conquer them before we actually discover them, which is really the ideal goal. We tried to do this in the last episode a few weeks back. Sorry about that again, by the way. But this time it looks as though we're actually going to succeed. We even accidentally brought in another army and another navy. We do manage to conquer them, though, so we just go ahead and bring them into the Empire, go ahead and start changing up our various sectors. We're going to just make the entire outer rim into more or less one big sector. Most of the inner rim, we've already done that. They're already the viceroyalties. Now they're more powerful viceroyalties, which is kind of nice. You'll notice our energy surplus is also still going down, which is less than ideal. However, we managed to conquer that world without fighting a war, so that's pretty cool. Definitely something I would rather do than not. We do have to get all the way to the Cognata Fedari. I'm sorry, I'm just going to keep butchering the name, even though I'm the one who made it. We're going to just get our navy all together, though, and attack Terminus Invictus. The idea being that we can probably take all of their worlds in this war. There's also another primitive group, so we can send our navy down over to them. But we have 4 navies, all the size of the initial navy we had at the beginning of this episode. Well, I guess admittedly the initial 2. So conceivably we can go in and, 1, build some wormhole stations up to the Cognita Fedare to eventually get to them, but in the meantime we can probably just take out Terminus Invictus, which also a Latin-based thing that I made. Really, that is, if you follow enough of my things, you'll eventually realize that I am just a sucker for bad Latin translations. And in fact, if you look around the map, if I ever slow down enough for you to do so. At any rate, though, we can go ahead and take all of their worlds, and we go ahead and just do that. We can take all of their worlds and one of their vassals' worlds, so that would be a quite nice thing for us to do. We do go ahead and just ship our forces on over. It looks as though it'll be a rather straightforward process, since we have 4 armies and they have, or 4 navies and they have 4 worlds. We do still have 2 armies, which should be decently sufficient, honestly. I don't quite imagine we're going to have to wait too long. We're not even really actively watching any of the battles or going into the sectors or system views. We're just kind of letting this take care of itself, and it seems to be working decently well. We're not even losing too much fleet strength. Some of our fleets do have to be told to go ahead and attack, and once they manage to clear most of the area, to go and bombard the planets. Overall, though, that's really not much effort at all to take out what had been our most serious enemy in the last war. So that is definitely a very real change of pace, and it's honestly at this moment that I realized that we have really the capability of dominating the entire galaxy just through military means, fairly straightforwardly just through this same process that we've been going through. And admittedly that, and I guess just some stuff going on in my personal life, starting the new semester, things like that, job and work and all that, kind of slowed me down for getting these videos out, and I'm very sorry that I ended up taking probably like 2 weeks now to get this video out. That is just not good at all. We also ended up taking their vassal. I didn't want to do that, was hoping to just fully conquer the galaxy on our own. However, since they are our vassal now, we're just going to kind of leave them there and probably just integrate them in 10 years once we're able to. Just because that's basically the easier way to go about it. We also do enslave all of their people, just Well, just because they're upset with us about conquering them, so it does make some sense. You can kind of see their point of view. Not that we're actually going to do very much about it other than enslave them, which is our way of meeting them in the middle. And we also do now have the ability to get our ships over to the Cognita Fodari, although at this point we're probably just going to end the episode. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. I will definitely do much better than I have in the last couple weeks about getting these videos out. Here are the statistics. They've probably been going on for a little while. Thank you very much for watching, and I will definitely do better in the future about getting these out.